Welcome to MMA on the Rocks. My name is Bill Welker. You are listening to episode 270 of the podcast, or you're joining us live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, as long as we're not kicked off of Facebook this week. We're coming off of UFC Vegas 46 at the UFC Apex. Calvin Kattar versus Giga Chikadze. Jeff the Animal Wilson's still on a bit of a professional hiatus, but I was able to find a more than suitable replacement.
Oh, boy.
Coming to you all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. You know him from the Keyboard Warriors podcast. If you're a football fan, you know him from his Arizona Cardinals podcast. Mr. Eddie Law. Eddie, how you feeling on this Sunday? Well, evening for me, afternoon for you, my friend.
I'm good. Right now I'm good because the Cardinals don't play till tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll be a wreck. But today I'm perfect. I'm good. Just doing the Sunday life, man. Sundays are for family, so for me. So I do my best to keep it that way, but I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. You're a family man. I know that since the last time you and I spoke publicly, you went and got yourself married.
Yeah.
So a big congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I keep joking around with my wife, and I was like, still gotta, like the day before, I'm like, we still got, hey, what's up, Mark? We still got 24 hours. It's like, what does that mean? And I'm like, I don't know. I might change my mind. And she points to our 1-year-old. She goes, well, the contract's already here. Like, we're already too late. I'm like, fair enough. I guess I might as well go through with it.
Oh yeah, what a contract it is too.
18-year contract with the kid, and then hopefully she's not tired of my ass when we get past that. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, play it by ear. Yeah, I like the the non-traditional relationships. I'm in one myself. Do the kid, see how that goes, and then maybe we'll tie the knot, maybe we'll make it legal, maybe we won't. It's.
I mean, but back in the day, everybody was like, you get married first, and you have the kid and all that. And it's like, what if you get married, and because before that, cohabitation before marriage wasn't a thing, so. You get married and you went with that person. What if in between getting married and having the kid, you realize you can't stand this motherfucker and like living with him and shit? Like you just can't do it. Mm-hmm. Like what happens then? So I did it the other way. I got moved in with her first. We lived together for 5 years. We're together for 5 years, and then had the kid, and then we got married. So everything's sweet. Everything's good. Like I know all her quirks. She's, she knows all the shit. I know all the shit about me that annoys her. We're good.
Yeah, it's good to get all that out in the open ahead of time. I think I like the non-traditional ways. I think there should be no rules to it. It shouldn't have to, because like everybody's different. Every relationship is different. Not everybody should have to follow the same like blueprint.
Mm-hmm. It shouldn't. It shouldn't.
But speaking of relationships, I have some grievances to add. So I'm glad to have you on the show because. Maybe you can relate one dad to another.
I hear you.
My daughter turned 4 years old on Wednesday. Time flies by. And Ariana, if you ever listen to this, Daddy loves you. You're the greatest thing that ever happened to me. But I'm going to talk some shit about your mom right now. So I think it was maybe July. My wife starts talking about Ariana's birthday. And I'm like, oh, man, here we go. Why are you bringing this up? It's 6 months away.
Right.
Let's do it at the house. We did the first birthday at the house. She went way over the top, and I was like, I never want to experience this again. So I was like, no, I don't want to do it at the house. Let's do, anything else. Let's have it at a park or whatever. Little cake, little balloons, playground. Keep it simple, She doesn't know what's going on. She's 4 years old. I promise I won't go overboard. You won't have to do a thing. This is how it was sold to me.
That's always a lie.
So she pushes and pushes. Finally, I cave. All right, we'll do a party at the house. So yesterday was the party. In my head, a few people, cake. I smoked some pork butts on the smoker. My wife had a whole different plan in mind. She had this lady come and decorate our yard with balloons like it was a wedding. Like she's out there assembling things to attach balloons to. I was like, is this a toddler birthday party or is Aerosmith coming to play in our backyard? Like this is a production.
Yeah.
On top of the regular balloon lady comes an animal balloon lady who also does glitter tattoos. Let me know if you need her number.
Here Later problem.
There was a bounce house that had to be nailed into the AstroTurf in the yard.
Yeah.
There was a photographer who set up backdrops for different photo scenarios. What else? It's all kind of a blur now because I tried to drink it out of my memory. Oh, and then all the food. I had to go to like 3 different places to pick up all the food and dessert and stuff. I was like, why did I make any food? Like, you ordered all this food. I had no idea. She's like, go to Publix. I have an order there. So I go, I give the name. I had no paperwork or anything. And they just start bringing out trays and stuffing them in the shopping cart. And I was like, what's going on here? And then the people come over. One of the people who came to the party crashed into my neighbor's car.
Get the fuck out.
Totally smashed in the front headlight after he had the car detailed all morning because I was like fixing up the yard and stuff. So I saw the guy detailing his car for hours. And then somebody shows up to the party and smashes into the car. So needless to say, she didn't keep her promise that it was going to be over the top. I still refuse to know like what the total bill was on this party. Like I don't want to know. And then the people who did come, like they didn't even drink a lot of alcohol. So I have all this beer in the cooler and there's no room for it in the fridge. So I'm trying to push my way through it before all the ice melts in the cooler. So I spent my Sunday day drinking and thinking about how broke I probably am after this party.
Oh boy.
But I guess I can't complain. Like too much beer, if that's the worst thing that happens to me today.
You're okay.
Yeah, it's not a bad day. But I don't know. What do you think? You think it's over the top?
So, all right. So this is the 4-year-old, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when my son turned 1 this last July, I have this problem. I think all men have this problem. I have this problem, but I have this very specific problem where if it's something I don't care about, it goes in one ear out the other, and I forget it. Right? Like usually one ear out the other means a little bit thing, something hung on there, right? Like she'll say something to you and it'll ring a bell. Not for me. If it's something I really don't care about, it just goes right through.
Sure.
So she had been giving me details about this upcoming birthday, the first one. We gotta make it special. It's his first one. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And she wants to do this and this and this. I'm like, yeah, sure, we'll do all that shit. I'm not listening to any of it. 2 weeks before, she's like, okay, I rented the place out. I'm like, for what? Like this one place out. I'm like, for what? She's like, oh, for the baby's birthday. I'm like, why would you rent the place out? Like, we could just do it here. We could do it somewhere else. Oh no, we'll do it. It's awesome. You're gonna love it. All right. And then she tells me the theme, where the wild things are. I've never heard of where the wild things are. I'm from Mexico. We don't have where the wild things are. We have everything else but. And then any American shit that we might have down there is all bootleg, so it's all fucked. And so, like, I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about? So I was okay with it. I was like, whatever. The day before the party, 2 ladies show up at my front door, photographers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, can I help you? And here comes my wife behind me. She goes, oh, there's the photographers. They're coming in for the photo shoot. I'm like, what photo shoot? Oh, for the baby. Apparently, they do this thing called the smash something or other, where they bring a cake in, and the kid is supposed to destroy it, and you're supposed to take pictures of it. It's supposed to be cute.
Oh, yeah.
But what my wife bought from Amazon, that was a Where the Wild Things Are thing, made my son look like fucking Magic Mike. All right? He looked like a stripper, like a little 1-year-old stripper. And It was just like, oh, God damn it. And I'm looking at him. They're taking pictures. He's looking at me all confused. I'm like, I'm so sorry, dude. I will explain this to you when you get older. But just understand it's mom's fault. That had nothing to do with this shit. And so that was the over-the-top part. Because it was not only that cake that he smashed, we got a second cake for that day just for the house. And then we had a third cake at his actual birthday party. So, and then a bunch of people I didn't really care for show up. I'm sitting there going like, who the fuck are you? Now, my parents, that was cool and all that. And my brother and his family, my sister and her family showed up. That was cool. But it's one of those things where it's like, I don't care. And then the cringiest part of the whole thing for me, I'm not good at receiving gifts. Like, I'm not good at, like, how am I supposed to, like, what am I supposed to do here? Now, so my kids are getting gifts, but like he can't express himself yet. So what am I supposed to say to these
Mm-hmm.
giving a shit, right? So that the whole thing was just like odd, and I was so glad it was over. And then once we were done, like we got home, I'm exhausted, she's tired, baby's asleep in the car, and we get back, and I'm like, he's not gonna remember a goddamn thing of that party. He already got right, and she's like, oh, but it was we have pictures. He's gonna love it when he gets older. I'm like, he's fucking not. I gotta explain why he looked like a stripper, dude. And then talking about and then we had talked about like Disneyland, and I'm like, not yet, not making memories, like. So yeah, like I think just like parents get really excited, like, and it's usually one of the two gets really excited about something, and they go over the top, and like where I should have like like a parachute, just grabbed and sat down a little bit more. I didn't. I should have done that, but it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much easier to just cave on these things. So I'm glad. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Dude. Like, so seriously, sometimes I'm sitting there, she'll go off on something, and I'll just be like, whatever, just do it. Just do it.
Oh yeah, it's so much easier. Like, I know I can put my foot down on things. Like, I'm confident. I have that. We have a mutually respectful relationship where I can, really say no. But like, is it worth it? Is it worth the like hundreds of thousands of dollars I'm gonna spend, or is it worth like the infinite grief I'm gonna get? And so I have to like balance that out, which is it's worse than just balancing a checkbook.
No, it really is.
A lot of the kids listening to the show don't even know what I'm talking about. They never had to balance a checkbook.
Dude, I talk to my teenagers sometimes about like stuff that I grew up with, and it takes me like a minute to think about. Oh yeah, they don't know what a payphone is. They never seen it in their lives. And I'm talking about. I have a 21-year-old and a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old. None of them have ever seen it. Like they had never seen a payphone until recently. And I'm like, you guys don't know what this is? Like, what about a pager? And then I had to explain to them how, like, dad would page you 911 or call him, basically text you like a code, and you need to call pop or call mom or whatever, and you have to run to the payphone, put a quarter in, call. It was to them, it was like, you didn't have cell phones? And I'm like, oh God, I failed.
You know what my move was with the payphone? I would call my house. I would call 1-800-COLLECT. And then you could leave your name, and it would give you like 2 seconds to say your name.
Yeah.
And I would say like, Mom, I'm at the park. You got to come pick me up. Bye. So then she would decline the charges, and she would know like whatever park I was at, and she had to come pick me up.
Oh, we did that a bunch too. And between me and my brother and shit, we'd be doing that like all the time. I remember I called my dad. I called my dad one time, and I'm like, Pop got in trouble. You need to come get me. Bye. And he knew what I was. Like I was at school. And he just felt pissed off already. He'd just be like, what'd you do? That shit like that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you on the gifts thing too. It's like I'm horrible at receiving gifts too. Like even if it's from my wife, like, even if it's something I actually really like, I'm just like not good at expressing that. So like it's hard when you have to express it for your kid. Like, oh wow, these plastic drums with giraffes on it is just what he wanted. He just can't tell you.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like I get that thing too. Like I just don't know, like especially with the wife, right? Like she gives you something that's really cool, even if you really like it. Just like I said, it's like how much appreciation should I show here? Because this is my wife, not just some random person. Like, and one of my boys is like, "Hey, appreciate that, bro. It's dope. Appreciate you. I live with this woman. Like, am I supposed to say thank you every time I see her in the hallway or some shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so, yeah. And then you wonder, like, if you fucked up the reception, like, and then there's she's just cold for no reason.
You try to figure out. Like, all right, let me backtrack what I did today. What did I say to this woman?
Yeah. You didn't love that gift enough, you piece of shit.
Exactly how that would go. Oh boy.
Well, I'm glad I could kind of commiserate with you on that. Oh, when you mentioned Disneyland, I forgot one other thing. We had 2 actors come who were dressed up as Anna and Elsa from Frozen, and they stayed for like an hour and a half. I think they were like reading stories to the kids and like playing with them and like. Which was cool, but like the longer they were there, in my head, like the dollar sign is going up for how much this costs, because I had no idea. I wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, they kind of been here for a while. they really look like Anna and Elsa. Like these might be the actual people that played the voices in the movie.
Jesus Christ. We where I put my foot down was getting Cocomelon actors. And it wasn't necessarily because it was like it was me super expensive, because it would have been, I'm sure. But the ones that I found online, they do not look like the Cocomelon kids like at all. It looks like some weird ass like adult size, like, you know what I'm talking about, Cocomelon?
Yeah, but isn't it like a baby?
It's a baby, but this motherfucker was 6 feet tall. He's a 6 foot tall JJ. Like, dog.
Oh man, so
We're not doing
it's like Junior Albini. Remember when he had
with the diaper,
the diaper fight kit?
That was my favorite. I wish that guy would have made it. I wish he would have lasted longer than he did.
Yeah, I wonder if they would have made a Venom diaper for him.
That would have been dope, right? I bet if he was a champ, he'd do it. They'd do it. Be like, hey, you're champion? Oh, yeah, diaper. Let's go.
It would just be like the fangs would just be coming out of his butt crack. You wouldn't even see them.
That was so great. I'm like, I would have bought one of those shit just for kissing giggle shit.
I would too. Shout out to Junior Albini.
Whatever happened? I know he got cut, but whatever happened to that dude?
I don't know. He's probably gonna show up in bare knuckle in a diaper soon.
Oh Christ! Jesus, I don't need that. I don't need that in my life at all.
Yeah. Well, Mark asked what I was sipping on or what we were sipping on. I'm drinking a Sweetwater Pale Ale. So this beer company, they're out of Atlanta, and they're known. It's kind of cool. I'm holding up the can, and it's showing through the green screen.
Oh shit, that's dope.
It's picking up the bricks that I have as the default on my green screen, which I never bothered to set up. I have this green screen and I never bothered putting it there. But established 420. So their whole thing is their beer tastes like weed, basically. And they have like different strains. And it makes sense. Like a lot of beer has like that marijuana flavor to it because hops and marijuana are cousins, like, you know, herpes and cold sores.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is I've got like maybe 20 more of these to drink today before before the cooler melts.
Just go get more ice. That shit's not okay. I don't know about you, but I don't think, other than edibles, right? I don't think weed has a really good taste to it. Like I've had to, you know, a couple times when I was in high school, I've had to eat a bud or two because I was, you know, about to get caught, whatever. I just chomp it out, right? It was terrible tasting. So why would you make a beer that tastes like weed?
I don't know. I don't mind the taste of it. I'm not a marijuana guy myself. You know, I know quite a few people, maybe some of them within this household, who partake.
Yeah.
But you know, legally, of course, they have the medical card and everything. But for me, it just never really did anything. It would either make me like really nauseous or I would feel nothing. And
dude, I just it for me, and it's funny because people I get shit. They're like, yeah, right. I'm like, no, I'm serious. That shit's medicine for me. I go to sleep with that. Like, I can't go to sleep. I don't know what I have. I have something. I don't know if it's insomnia or something, but I just have an inability to just go to sleep. It's hard to do no matter how tired I am. So, like, you know, I'll take an edible or two and, you know, I pass the fuck out. It works out pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, I believe that works because I swear by CBD and I use that to fall asleep. But for whatever reason, when it's like the full strength, like THC, it gives me like a stomach ache or it makes me like anxious. And I know it's supposed to have the opposite effect, but you know, everybody's different. You know, not everybody can enjoy whiskey the way I do. And so I get it.
I'm on, you know what's funny? I just ran out of is it 1719? 1712?
1792.
I thank you, 92. God damn it. I just ran out of that. So now all I have left is I'm probably gonna now that reminded me, I'm gonna go get another bottle of something. I don't know what yet, but I've been going through your recommendations all the time, and like Michter's is like my thing right now. But I ran out, and so I have a bottle of Jack, and so I have like a 12-ounce like Coke in my fridge. I just been making Jack and Cokes. That's how I've been drinking.
There you go. Well, if you need another recommendation, I just picked this up. This is George Dickle 8-year bourbon.
Oh shit. Okay.
And so aged for 8 years, it's on the sweeter side. So like up there with the Michter's and the Belle Meade and the 1792. I got this bottle at Costco. It was $23. And then if you bought two, you got $5 off.
Nice.
I I just bought this bottle on Friday, so
Oh God, you already went through it. Jeez.
it's been a weekend. Well, I bought 2 of them, so I felt
Yeah.
justified going. And I was like, every time I thought about how much money this weekend was costing me, I'm like, $23 whiskey tastes even better now.
I'll try that one out next. I think I can probably run out and get that before they close.
I think you'll like it.
I'll try it out. Yeah.
So we went 3 weeks without any MMA, sir.
Was that not amazing?
I kind of, yeah, I did too. Yeah, and I almost feel guilty saying that because I'm watching everybody else complain, and I'm like, man, it's kind of nice having 3 weekends where I don't have to like rush to get home or stay up late. Like I was going to bed at a reasonable hour on Saturday nights.
Dude, I was going out. I saw my friends. I forgot I had friends. And they're like,
wow.
They hit me up. They always hit me up, and they're like, hey man, we know you're covering the fights and whatnot, and having to cover it and everything. But if you're not, come out with us. So then, like the last 3 weekends, I was like, yeah, what you guys up to? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, you guys want to hang out? Because they don't watch fights. These guys don't. Most of my friends do, but these guys don't. And I was like, oh, I'm around, dude. What's going on? And they're like, oh, we're at so and so bar. I'm like, cool, I'll be right there. So I go and hang out and shit. And so then yesterday they hit me up pretty early. Like, hey man, we're going to this place and we're going to this place. All right. So what time are you gonna show up? And I'm like, I gotta cover the fights. Like this motherfucker. Like, but I enjoy, and Mark says it perfectly, but I enjoy the absence of it. Like, I was looking forward to this card, even though anyone that knows anything about like that's like I would say hardcore, I guess, or he just pays attention, would know this card more than likely was gonna eat it, and it sort of did. But you just want to see the actual fights. That's all you want to see. So I mean, it was cool to like get it back.
Yeah, I tuned in like as the party was kind of winding down. Like my house was a dumpster fire. Like it was just a disaster. There's like popped balloons everywhere and like cupcakes all over the place, and like the yard was a disaster. And I knew it was gonna rain today, so I was like, "Fuck! I gotta clean. I gotta get everything out of the yard and get all the furniture covered and everything because I know it's gonna rain." But yeah, so I was kind of in and out. I had to go back and rewatch the prelims this morning, but I thought it was a solid card. I mean, it was a lot of decisions, so it kind of dragged a little bit, but the main event was great. So let's start there. Give me your thoughts on this featherweight matchup here. Calvin Kattar, Giga Chikadze.
Boy, the hype on Giga is something else. And we've seen it a million times before, right? Plenty of guys that they have all the hype. Okay, rewind a little bit. What, a few days ago, a week ago, Holloway gets matched up with Volkanovski. The next day, Holloway's injured. He's out. The only name or the name that was being yelled at the most was get Giga in there, get him a title shot, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And Dana White was like, nah, we're not gonna do that yet. So Giga started talking shit. He's like, all right, once they win this weekend, I'll be ready for that fight. This is not gonna take long. So once we got past the first round, I'm sitting there going like, well, Giga, it's gonna take long. And it ain't going well for you, bro. You better figure some shit out. Giga came out like he always does, super aggressive. The kicks, that's what I love watching about that dude, is the kicks. Because he doesn't just kick just the legs or just the middle, just the top. It's coming from everywhere, a myriad of angles. It's always so much fun to watch. What he didn't count on was Calvin Kattar going, I know I'm going to get hit, and I'm okay with that, but you are not going to get me out of your face. And Calvin was in his face for 5 full rounds, popping that jab in his face, finding different angles with the boxing. Excuse me. To me, one of the most high IQ fights I've ever seen Calvin Kattar in, because he didn't go in there just trying to brawl. He went in there knowing he was going to get hit, but with a purpose, right? So that was actually pretty dope to see. That fight was for being 5 rounds and not having to finish. It was really a lot of fun.
Yeah, and like, how can you respect Calvin Kattar anymore after this? Because one, coming off of that beating he took from Max Holloway, you don't know how the guy is mentally coming into this. That was a year ago. He's had to live with that. Everybody talking about it, especially now. Came up in every podcast award shows, like the best performance of the year. So there's the mental aspect. He's given a shot to this guy who has a lower ranking than him, which a lot of guys in his position wouldn't want to do. Number 5, 1 through 5 usually doesn't fight outside of the top 5. Right. They're still so he fights a guy lower than him. He's the underdog. This guy's talking all this shit. He's looking past him. He's looking to get to the title shot. He was on a 7-0 run in the UFC or whatever it was. and to go in and just put it on him the way he did. I did see an interesting tweet, and I don't know if they were just trolling and I don't even remember who wrote it, but they said, what if Giga didn't slip in the first round? And I don't think it would have changed the outcome, but it definitely impacted the fight, because once Kattar got on top of him and he felt like how easy it was for him to hold him down, it kind of changed the way he was approaching the fight, and he was pressuring more and going for the takedowns more. So maybe it would have changed the fight a little bit, like if he didn't slip in that first round. But it's interesting if there was like some kind of weird like butterfly effect or something where, you know, that kind of altered the course of the fight. But man, what a great performance. That one spinning elbow he hit him with. And then a lot of people, you know, whenever they talk about Calvin Kattar, they talk about the boxing, and he's got great hands, but he's a complete fighter. Like, his wrestling looked good. He was chaining takedowns together with those single legs. And then he's got legitimate Muay Thai skills too. You saw the way he was leaping in to throw those elbows. A lot of people forget he started out with Sidiatong in Boston, which is the Mark Delagrati lineage that my Muay Thai coach comes from. So I recognized a lot of the techniques he was using, where he was throwing the elbows like punches, you know, and that's the way you deal with someone who kicks a lot. You got to pressure forward and don't give him the space to get those kicks off. And yeah, he wasn't scared. He was just in that guy's face all night and just beat the brakes off of him. I think Giga was out on his feet once or twice in that fight. What do you think?
Yeah. No, 100%. No, the power and like, and then you mentioned the Muay Thai. That step-in elbow that Calvin Kattar has, like, he lands it quickly and he lands it with power. That is, that's a powerful tool. But the thing about Giga though, like, is Kattar forced him to box with him, and apparently Giga can't box that great, because there was like a 30-40 second period of time during, I forget which round it was, where Giga didn't even throw a strike. It was just Calvin coming after him, pop, pop, pop. My hands hurt, my elbow instead, pop, and going after him. And then as soon as Giga got cut, you could see the doubt creeping up in his demeanor. It was honestly kind of wild to see, especially coming off all the hype that Giga came in with going into that fight. People want, you know, like you said about the whole year off for Calvin, and all he has to hear about is people talking about how Hollywood beat the brakes off of him and made him look like a fool. Really, it's one of those things that people forget who Calvin Kattar is and how good he really is. So, you know, that's a good thing about MMA is, you know, a loss here or there is okay. Unlike boxing, one loss will end your career. But you know, MMA, a couple losses, you know, it's whatever. Now, as far as Giga losing this fight, he's only going to get better. Like, he's only going to get way better off of this. He's going to realize, like, oh, maybe I should learn how to, like, stop a takedown. Or maybe I should work on my ground game, too, because he has no ground game. Like, he would get taken down. I don't know if you saw it. Half the time he was flat on his back. I'm sitting there like, shrimp or some shit, motherfucker. What the hell? Like, move. And, you know, like, from what I saw, the extent of his skill on that point was getting his feet on the hips, trying to push him off. Right? And Calvin would get up and then come down with another bomb. Honestly, Giga's only going to get a lot better off of this loss, for real.
Which is surprising too, because Giga's training with Beneil Dariush, isn't he? So like, you would think he would have, you know, a couple of, maybe he just has like one or two, you know, get to his feet moves, and if they're not working, he's just like, fuck, man, I guess I'm staying down here. Yeah,
exactly. No, and it happened earlier in the night, but I just forgot who it was. But it was the same thing. Some of these guys, once they get taken down, they're like, ah, shit. Like, who was it? Was it not Ortega? I forgot what fight. It's just very recent fight, big fight, where they got taken down and just laid on their back and just hung on and waited for either the ref to stand them up or the round to end. And it was like a long round. But I don't know. I'm sure I remember it later on. But yeah, it's that kind of thing. He was just waiting.
Yeah, for sure. So, what do you think next? I'm thinking Kattar and Ortega.
That would be fun, because Ortega is game to stand with him. Ortega will mix it up. And honestly, if you take Ortega down, that's cool. I'm going to throw up triangles. I'm going to throw up omoplatas. I'm going to try whatever I can to tap you out. I'm going to take your back. I'm going to arm, whatever. And so that'd be good to see Calvin get tested like that on the ground. And then Ortega's a game enough boxer, striker. I like the matchup. It really sounds like a lot of fun that you mentioned. Outside of that, like I don't want to see the Holloway rematch for Calvin ever.
No,
he wants it, but I don't ever want to see him again in that. And
no.
then I don't know who else, but that Ortega fight sounds dope.
And the other fight that makes a little less sense, but I just want it, is Giga versus Yair.
Holy shit! Can you imagine?
Yeah,
imagine this. Like it'd be like if you played Street Fighter and you both chose Ryu, and it's just like back and forth and back and forth. That'd be fun as hell. Honestly, that sounds dope.
That's as dated a reference as balancing checkbooks.
If you didn't get that reference, you don't belong here.
You're too young for this show. I put a warning on the beginning of the show. Yeah, I think that would be fun, but I don't know what else could be next for these guys. I mean, Bill Algeo, who fought earlier on the card, was talking a little shit about Giga. I don't know if he would get that fight, but that would be fun.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Like I thought Algeo looked good last night too. We'll get there. Co-main event: Jake Collier and Chase Sherman. Chase Sherman, man, this guy has 9 lives in the UFC, and he's burning through all of them. Like, I kind of feel bad for the guy. But what'd you think of this one?
So, you remember Jake Collier was, I believe he was a middleweight at one point.
Yeah.
Then he went up to 205, and now he's a heavyweight. That, to me, is impressive, okay? It really is that he got that big, and he still fights really well. Now, he just came out aggressive, dude. Like, Sherman, like, Chase waited. He waited to see, let's feel it out, whatever. Jake's like, you ain't getting none of that time, boy. Came after him with everything heavy. And honestly, that's what heavyweight fights used to be in the UFC, right? Remember, back in the day, like we're talking like 3-4 years ago, but back in the day, like heavyweight fights, you'd be excited for because you knew someone was going to get like cracked. Someone was going to get knocked out. And just in the last 2-3 years, you've gotten these like slow, borderline boring fights. And so, I mean, shit, you can think about Derek Lewis, Francis Ngannou just off the top. But as far as Chase goes, man, he just waited too long, and Jake was, he's just quicker. He went in there. You would think that Chase would have been the quicker fighter and the more limber fighter because he's lighter by like 15 pounds, but
yeah,
it just wasn't. And then for Jake to finish it on the ground like that with a rear naked choke, that made me giggle a little bit. I was like, get him, big boy, get him.
Yeah, that was more like. And I talk about this pretty frequently, and you're aware of this, but like that's just a way out choke. He wasn't fighting the hands at all. He was like, I'm tired of getting hit. Just sink this choke in, man.
Yeah, no, he because now every single time you get a rear naked, anyone that trains jiu-jitsu immediately goes 2-on-1. Like it's really hard to finish a rear naked choke with one arm. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's hard. And so you fight 2-on-1, you buy yourself some time. He didn't even try that.
Yeah.
His arm was out here, just like waiting for. All right, let me know when I got a tap. All right, cool.
Yeah, unless they snatch under the chin right away, it's one of the easier submissions to defend. But it's also the easiest way out if you need a way out. Just give up that neck. Just like lift that chin a little bit. All right, let's start over. We'll go home tonight. We'll come back and get it next time. And Mark was saying bare knuckle time for Chase. I think Chase Sherman already went to bare knuckle and then came back. I think he's the only one who has left the UFC, gone to bare knuckle, and made it back.
I don't know why he made it back. Is this his first fight back? It is.
No. I'm about to talk out of my ass like I don't have the internet right in front of me. So let me just hold this up here. I wish I didn't mount this monitor so high.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, so this dude has fought twice in 2021 and then just obviously, this last weekend, yesterday. That's right, the Parker Porter fight.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Parker Porter. That's the biggest motherfucker I've seen in my life fighting in a cage.
Yeah. I mean, he was another one of these young guys that got fed to Andrei Arlovsky. Like they try to put Andrei Arlovsky out of his misery every other month, and he just keeps beating up these dudes. But yeah, at some point he had gone over to bare knuckle. Maybe it was like somewhere. Maybe it was even before this win streak here. Maybe. I don't know. I wish I could keep track, but there's just so many.
Too much going on.
Yeah, there is too much. there was a one championship card this weekend that I missed, and that shit comes on at 3 a.m. I don't have that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah. Oh, on a side note, just for the fact that Chase's physique is not one that makes you think he's 250 some pounds. Right, so he came in at like 238 or something on Friday, and so you would think he'd be able to do the who's that fella that went from heavyweight to light heavyweight and then 185? Jesus Christ. He's black dude. What's his name? Oh my God, I can't remember his name. Whatever, but you could think Chase would be able to change his like lifestyle to be able to cut weight to 185.
You know what's killing me too is that Jared Cannonier.
Cannonier, Jesus, yes, that's him. I was gonna say, the guy with the weird religion, but I didn't want to go that far.
As you were talking about it, like I pictured him, and then his name wasn't coming to me. But there is too much going on.
Mark knows. He's like, Cannonier, I got you.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah.
It was interesting seeing Collier be so much quicker when Sherman is like the more natural heavyweight and like the healthier weight for a heavyweight, but such is life. Brandon Royval and Rogerio Bontorin. Did Bontorin tap to the armbar?
Yeah, he did. We've been in that position, right? I mean, I've been in a spot where my arms extended, they're cranking the shit out of it. My hand goes to tap, and for whatever reason, between me tapping and maybe turning and finding the ankle or killing the angle, my arm slips further past the knee or whatever, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm good. And if the ref doesn't call it, Happened to me one time in a tournament. I'm in an arm bar, it's fully extended. I know I'm about to tap. I'm done. I want my shit to get blessed. And I turned my arm or I turned my body a certain way where I stopped feeling the pain. Yeah. And then my arm slipped a little further in. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Did he call it? And I did go twice. I was like this. And I was like, the ref just looks at me and I'm like, oh, we're not done? Cool. So, went past guard and we're good. But it was, he definitely tapped. Like, there's no way. I don't think. I mean, unless he was trying to do what what a lot of the people have done before, where they do this on someone's leg. And if the fighter is like a jiu-jitsu practitioner, in practice, as soon as you feel it, you let it go. You don't want to hurt your training partner, right? In MMA, you're supposed to go till the ref stops you, right? So, there's been a few fights where guys will let stuff go. Yeah. Right? Used to it. So maybe that's what he was trying. I don't know. I mean,
Interesting theory, but I think it was a blatant tap. Like, I think it should have been stopped. And then who's the ref here? Mark Smith. Yeah.
Mark's usually on it, though, too. Mark is good.
Mark, he is.
I know Mark being one of the best. He's one of the better refs out here. I mean, he's almost gotten a couple guys killed. Let's be honest about it. But, overall, he's all right.
Hey, you want to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs. But, I think it should have been stopped. Other than that, I thought it was a super close fight because Royval was on his back for a lot of it, but he was more active. He was doing more damage. But you always have to question, what are these judges looking at? Are they just looking at, who's on top, who's controlling the position? Or are they looking at who's beating the other guy up? You never know. So I was kind of surprised that he got the split decision. Actually, I thought it was going to go to Bontorin, and then it would have been a bigger deal about the tap.
Absolutely. No, I had a score for Bontorin personally. He just landed the damaging shot. So it went from what do you value more, right? Damage or volume? That's like the age-old thing. Whenever we watch fights with guys with high cardio, but not like when you watch a Diaz brothers fight, they're high volume guys, but not really knock anybody out for the most part. There's Leon Edwards, and you almost get knocked out. But other than that, it's you got to weigh that out.
Yeah, for sure. Katlyn Chookagian kind of won a pointless fight against Jennifer Maia. She's already beaten her. It was a one-sided fight against the champ. Now she's still ranked number 1, I think, in the division. She got a win over someone she already beat. And, Maia also lost to Shevchenko and has lost to Chookagian twice now, who's the number 1 contender, and has a hard time making weight in this division anyway. Yeah. So it's what do you do if you're Jennifer Maia now? You got to move up to 35 or something. And what do you do if you're Katlyn Chookagian? Like, you're the number one person. You just beat another person who fought for the title, but nobody wants to see you fight for the title again. Like, there's not one person out there who's asking for that fight, not named Katlyn Chookagian. So what are we doing here?
The most hardcore Katlyn Chookagian fan does not want to see her fight the Bullet again. That was just bad. All right. Like, and honestly, you could blame Valentina for all this. You really could blame her for all of this because she's cleaned the division out twice over.
How dare she?
Yeah, she should move up. I mean, I would love to see her fight Amanda Nunes again if Nunes can get the belt back. But you know, you could kind of blame Valentina for it. But if you stick this to these two ladies, Maia needs to go up. You know, and I know she's even at 125, she's kind of short, but she needs to move up. And then Katlyn might be the most annoying fighter in the UFC. Like this, because she's so good, but she's still just so far down that level that you know she's never going to beat the champion unless it's somebody else. Yeah, like it sucks. So, I mean, Katlyn's just going to take whoever the UFC gives her because that's what she keeps saying. Okay, wait, just on a side note, does it bug you when fighters get the microphone and they don't call somebody out?
Sometimes, but like in her case, it's like, what else can she do? Like, she can't call out the champ, and there's nobody else ranked ahead of her. So it's like, well, it doesn't really fucking it actually doesn't matter. Like, when there's people who have something to gain by calling somebody out, yeah, that bothers me. Yeah, but in this case, it's like, well, I don't know what you're gonna do. And as far as Shevchenko, like, I'm on board with you. I want to see the trilogy fight with Nunes. I know a lot of people don't, and I know Dana said he's not going to do it. But I don't know why she wasn't screaming from the rooftops when Juliana Pena won the belt and like, bitch, I tapped you out.
Let's go.
At 135. Yeah. So, like, let's run it back. And that's her in. And then she can get the trilogy fight with Nunes. They have to give it to her if she has the belt. So I don't know why she wasn't like calling out Pena like a maniac, or maybe she was, but I didn't hear anything about it.
I didn't either. And you know, every time they ask her about, you know, going back to 135, she kind of backs away from that anytime anyone asks her about it. So it doesn't Valentina is very mysterious in that way, but she's very much a company girl. Like, she's very much whatever the UFC says she'll do. So it might be Dana telling her, yeah, we're not going to give you Nunes, so don't even ask for it. You never know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could be the case. Nasty body shot knockout. Viacheslav Borshchev over Dakota Bush. Dakota Bush would be an interesting porn name, I think.
I'm sure it's out there. No, isn't there two nicknames on here that are kind of like a little questionable? I think Dakota has Dakota Harry Bush. Am I right on that? Let me look it up. I'm like 99% sure.
I can pull it up here too. Harry.
There's another one on the card. I forgot who it was. But Dakota Harry Bush makes me fucking laugh.
Somebody's nickname on here is Raw Dog.
That one. Yeah. Who's Raw Dog?
Is it Jamie Pickett?
Night Wolf? No,
the Night Wolf.
It's not Holmes. Holmes is some ugly something or other.
Ugly Joe.
Something like that. Let me see.
Is it here? It was somebody on the prelims, I think.
They say TJ Brown. I think TJ Brown's downtown TJ Brown.
Yeah, it's not Brian Kelleher. It's not Charles Rosa. It's not Court McGee.
Kelleher is Boom.
Is it this guy? Joanderson Brito?
He's some Brazilian name. Not Bill, is it? Senor Perfecto? No. Jesus Christ. Maybe they're not on here. I could have sworn there was another like question.
I saw somebody, and I didn't hear the fighter get announced. I just saw this on Twitter that somebody was talking about. But this body shot by Borshchev, just nasty, man.
Royval. Mark just said it. Raw Dog Royval. Yes, he's right. Anyway, all right.
Thank you, Mark. Mark is like my young Jamie.
Dude, we have one on Keyboard Warrior. His name's Otis. He's always the first one on, right? So we go live. He's always on right away. And then he gives us like, you know, who's your winner of the weekend and why is it so-and-so? And who's your loser of the weekend? And, like, he gives us segments. I'm like, Otis, you're part of the show. Just fucking come on. Like, he doesn't want to come on, but he'll be saying in the chat and everything. And then he gives us like the fight announcements one by one. So he literally gives us content while we're on live. And honestly, like, I love people like that. Like, that's dope.
Yeah, I'm not sure how time zones work, like, as you know, from trying to schedule this show with you, but whatever time of day we go live, and it varies on this show because, you know, Jeff has a wacky schedule, and I'm always day drinking on Sundays, so who knows? It could be morning, but Mark is always here, and he's in Australia.
Mm.
Like, so I don't know. There's some kind of like vortex on the internet where somehow it's always like daylight when we're on the air over there. I don't know how it works, but it's some kind of science. But that body shot was so nasty. I don't think I've seen anybody stay down that long from a body shot, because usually, if you get hit in the liver or something, it releases all the toxins into your bloodstream, your body shuts down. But once the blood starts moving, like, that wears off pretty quick. I guess this was like a cracked rib or something, because when Bush went down, he did not get back up.
Did you hear it? Did you hear the actual like impact? Like the impact,
I didn't.
The sound. You heard it. If you heard it, and you heard it clearly, you were like, "That's a broken fucking rib right there." I was beating. Hey, that guy's not breathing right today for sure.
Yeah, you gotta wonder if he has like a punctured lung or something. I didn't hear the impact. Was it really? I usually watch the fights with the sound off.
It was yeah. I usually do too, but when I think I don't know why I turned it up. No, because my shitty TV that I have in this room doesn't have a volume thing, so or just doesn't, it's not working. But yeah, he landed it, and just hear pop, and it's just like, what the fuck was that? And it was bad. I've got my my rib busted in a fight before, so I know exactly how it sounds and how it feels. But when he went down, I'm like, oh, he's not okay. That might not even be like a liver shot. That might just be like a freaking just a broken rib, and he's just down. So but he must, like, everyone knows when they fight my brain is like, fucking, who do you fight? Fuck. Why is my brain not working right now? Borshchev. Think, Jesus Christ. When Borshchev was in, or Borsch, I call him Borsch because I'm like, fuck, no, not whole name. When Borsch is in there, that guy is high level striking for sure.
Oh yeah.
I thought Dakota's gonna be able to take him down and beat him up on the ground and finish him off. Nah, Borsch can do it.
Yeah. That dude is nasty. Like, he's fierce. I would not want to take a body shot from that guy. And yeah, I've broken a few ribs, and I've dislocated a few ribs before. It is not a fun feeling. I got thrown by somebody one time, and they landed on me, and my ribs separated from like my, I don't know, sternum, whatever it is that I just felt the pop, and it like separated out, and it just took all the wind out of me. I didn't feel like moving. It sucks.
You have a problem with those ribs that you busted before? Because I have 2 ribs that I knew broke before and they healed, but now, like, when I'm rolling in certain positions, they move on me, and it feels like a cramp. But I know it's the fucking rib going. What, the cartilage in the middle? I don't know, but it fucking hurts.
So I'm not a big believer in chiropractors, but when I was in New York, I had a really good one. So when I had a dislocated rib in my back, he took an x-ray and like he kind of felt it out, and then it was like, take a big breath in, and I did, and as I exhaled, he popped it back into place.
Yeah.
And it hurt like hell for a second because he didn't tell me what he was going to do. Yeah. But then once it was back in place, it was like, oh my God, all this pain is gone. But what he said was, the rib will work itself back out. So I had to go to him once a week for like a month, and he had to keep like, and then it was every other week, and he had to keep like kind of readjusting it and kind of make sure it stayed in place. He said, because if not, it would be like that, where it would keep thinking it's supposed to be out of place.
Yeah. That's so weird.
I would see a chiropractor about that, but research a good one, because I've gotten to some bad ones before and they've made things worse. But this guy, he would put like the electric stimulation on your back and a heating pad for 15 minutes before he would ever adjust you, because he's like, a lot of these rack and crack places will just try to pop stuff around. He's like, you need to relax the muscles in the back before you even touch the spine. He was a really, really smart dude, and like the way he explained everything, he was like super thorough. it really helped me out a lot. I think I would probably still be having problems with that rib if he wasn't so meticulous about it. But yeah, if you're still having issues, I would say find yourself a good chiropractor.
I might have to. Unfortunately, the only one that I trust has never ever worked on me. He lives in Michigan, so shout out Aaron Robbins, one of my close friends. But
yeah, that's a problem. You can't have adjustments over Zoom calls.
No, you can't. I would.
Although I'm sure during the pandemic there were some chiropractors that were selling that somehow.
I do. Hey, I mean, you have to get creative, man. Shit.
Yeah. For the sake of time, I'm gonna run through the rest of the card, and then you tell me who impressed you the most, Eddie. Bill Algeo, unanimous decision over Joanderson Brito. I thought this was a pretty dominant performance by Algeo. I thought he looked good. I loved his takedown defense. I loved the weaving into the leg and stretching the body out to defend the takedown. That was really cool. Jamie Pickett, unanimous decision over Ugly Joe. Joseph Holmes, his face was pretty brutal. It looked almost as bad as Chikadze's at the end of that one. Court McGee dominated Ramiz Brahimaj.
Dude, Court is still doing it. Can you believe that? Court is still doing it. Not only, Court McGee is the ultimate, all right, I got my lunch pill going to work guy. He's the ultimate, that dude. Like, he shows up, he's like, it's like you hired him to fix drywall in your house. Like, what's up, boss? What am I doing today? This wall? Yeah. No problem. Goes in, gets his judgment, gets the hell out. Doesn't say much, doesn't care about much. Moves, gets his paycheck, and goes to fuck home. And he's still doing it after so many years.
In my mind, I'm Court McGee when I show up at the gym. Like, like probably far from reality, but like I like to think I go in the gym like nobody wants to roll, like because it's mostly a striking gym. I'm like, just take everybody down and beat them up, and we're about the same age, so. In my mind, I associate with Court McGee. He's my spirit animal.
I'm more like Jim Miller. I show up feeling like total shit, and I win once in a while. Like I win here and win and lose there every once in a while. Or like Nate, I might just run out of time. I might just run out of time. Meaning I tapped already. Jesus.
I feel like Jim Miller a lot of days too, because a lot of these young kids are complaining about everything. They're like, "Bitch, I've got Lyme disease and everything." And you never hear me complain a day in my life.
No, what I love doing at when I'm rolling, especially at open mats, right? I'll pick whoever, but especially if they're younger than me, like we'll roll, and even if like no matter who taps, whether it's them or me, like I'm immediately like, all right, let's go, come on, let's go again. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. But after we restart like 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, all right, let's go again. They're like, hey, give me a second, right? I need to breathe. I'm like, no, we only got 2 minutes. Come on, let's go. Like I like to do that to people, and it fucking mind fucks them into making mistakes when we're rolling. It's a stupid trick, but
it works. And like, a lot of these younger fighters that I work with, like, unless they wrestled, they don't know how to grind. They just don't. They don't get it. It's like, dude, I'm fucking 20 years older than you. Let's fucking go. Stop complaining. Like they're gonna stop mid-roll to go put biofreeze on their joints. It's like, dude, do you know that like nothing on my body works? And I'm still out here. I'm not skipping warm-ups. I'm not doing it.
My favorite is the guys, especially young guys that show up and they're like, oh, dude, my knee's been hurting. Let's go light. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? It's like, oh, it's injury. It's an injury, whatever. But it just hurts. And I'm like, that's not an injury. That's a permanent disability. So I'm used to that shit for life because that's never gonna get better. So let's just go roll. Come on. Like,
at a certain point in your life, you wake up in the morning and it's like something hurts. It's like, well, I guess I don't need that anymore.
It's like your body says, like, look, man, do you want to breathe or do you want this to work? What do you want to do? Pick one.
And it's like, we'll learn to live without it. It'll be fine.
I think by the time we get shoulder. I think for grapplers and martial artists as a whole, right? Especially fighters, but like for grapplers, like I think at some point we're gonna be in our like 60s, 70s, hopefully, and rolling still, and we'll just walk into the gym smelling like all kinds of Bengay and CBD oils and all of this shit. Like we're just gonna be all that because there's no way our bodies are gonna work correctly at all by the time we get to that point.
Well, I'm hoping by that time that stem cells will be as accessible as like CBD is now.
Over the
It's,
counter at CVS. Let's go.
I got my medical stem cell card.
That'd be so
I'm,
great.
I'm
I
going to get my
wish.
weekly injection.
I wish. You got to be a guy like Rogan to get that shit weekly. Jesus.
Oh yeah, that shit's crazy expensive.
Yeah. You used to have to go to Germany for it. Now you can go to California or something like that.
Yeah, well, California has like the one that's like not as effective. I think you got to go to like Panama or Colombia to
Yeah.
get the good stuff that's really gonna rejuvenate you.
Wherever Tom Brady and Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, went, that's where you got to go to get the good shit.
Dude, Tom Brady, I believe the Buccaneers won this morning.
Oh, they beat the shit out of the Eagles.
That guy's a freak of nature.
What's he, 44, 43, whatever he is? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I look like that when I'm his age.
I don't know what he does, but I'm going to read his book whenever it comes out. Find out what the fuck he does.
Yeah, like, I don't know, stem cells, and like he probably, I don't know, he sucks the collagen out of models and like drinks it.
Giselle hooks him up. Yeah.
Yeah, she just sacrifices like younger models. Like they come to her training camp to be like aspiring models, and she just sacrifices them to Tom.
Just like what's that movie back in the day? Hocus Pocus. You ever seen that?
Yes, I have.
Hocus Pocus. Again, dating ourselves once again. But Hocus Pocus, where they breathe in the souls of little kids.
Do you know Hocus Pocus 2 is in post production?
No, come on. They're gonna ruin a classic.
Breaking news. I think they got the whole cast back.
They're still alive?
Yeah, Bette Midler's like 93.
Oh boy. Okay, I might watch it just for that.
Yeah, they got them all back. I don't know if they got what's her name, the Sex and the City girl.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember her name. I know what you're talking about though. Yeah, who knows?
Jessica. Man,
I forget.
We're both off today.
Super off, dude. It's a weird day.
Brian Kelleher, unanimous decision over Kevin Kroom, pretty dominant, and TJ Brown beat Charles Rosa. So out of those first 5 prelims, I'm guessing your answer is Court McGee, but who impressed you the most?
Yeah, Court McGee. Just for that he's still doing it. Brian Kelleher got a last second, literally on 2 or 3 days' notice, featherweight to fight him, and I was not surprised that Kevin couldn't use his length to keep him away because Brian's so good at getting inside and not just landing but damaging. So that makes sense. Charles Rosa, I don't know how many chances this guy. He's like on the Chase Sherman thing for me. Like how many chances you gonna give this guy? He just got a new contract just for stepping up, so good for him. But you know what? Credit to him for stepping up on the short notice too. For the Boston Strong is an adequate nickname for that man. But yeah, I gotta say Court McGee. It's just the fact that he's still doing it. Now, mind you, this was a very like so card coming into the year and all that. So there's not a lot to choose from. But if it isn't Calvin Kattar, obviously overall on the card, it's Court McGee.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you. It was decent. It was entertaining, especially since, if I feel like it would have been worse if it was like in the middle of having MMA every week. But like since we had 3 weeks off, it's like, I could live with this.
Yeah, no.
And we got our first pay-per-view of the year coming up.
Oh, Jesus.
So I'm kind of back and forth on this main event. Like, I don't know, I've seen the footage and like the gym stories are that Gane used to get the better of Ngannou in the gym. But like, when I look at that footage, like they're not going anywhere near 100%. No. And like, yeah, he's piecing them up. But like, if Ngannou unloads one time, that's the X factor. Like Ciryl Gane has, I think, far more skills than Ngannou. Like, he's a more technical striker. He sets traps. Like, he's really methodical. He's got a great game plan. He can grapple. He's got fucking leg locks. How many heavyweights have leg locks not named Frank Mir?
Right.
But Ngannou has that X factor, that one big shot. But at the same time, I think Ngannou has more on the line here because he's already said he's not coming back to the UFC. He's not fighting for his current contract anymore. It's not enough money. If he loses, they'll be like, all right, see you later. Because Dana's already said, like, if he wins and he wants to leave, like, we're not renegotiating your contract. You can go. So I feel like he has more to lose. Like, if Ciryl Gane gets knocked out by Ngannou and then Ngannou leaves the UFC, Ciryl Gane could be fighting for the title again in 2 more fights. But where are you on this one as far as how you see it playing out?
Okay. Ciryl Gane, you're right. 100%, way more skills. Like, he's well-rounded completely. Francis Ngannou just learned how to strike. If you notice, the first couple fights that he had, he was swinging wild. The fight with Derek Lewis, he was scared shit. They were both were, but he was scared shitless of the power. He knew Derek Lewis could knock him out. And the last couple fights for Francis, he was all right. But Ciryl Gane knows he doesn't have to knock you out to win. And he's very, very, very comfortable with that, right? So coming into this fight, Ciryl Gane's coming in. He's got a title shot. He knows he's better. Everyone knows he's better at fighter. And Francis Ngannou's coming in with, all right, I got to win this fight, but I also got to negotiate this new contract if I have it. I also want to box. I also want to do this. There's a lot of uncertainty. Francis has so much in his head right now that he's going to come into this fight with way more pressure than Ciryl Gane does, I think. So just all that whole mountain to me is against Francis Ngannou. Not to mention the rumor that Francis is terrible with money and he's broke as hell. That's the rumor. I don't know if it's true, but that's the rumor. Terrible with money. And he may or may not have had to borrow money already, which is wild to me. But yeah, and it's just bad. You know, and again, a guy that never really has had anything, not getting very good. But nah, Ciryl Gane's gonna pick him apart, and I don't think he'll knock him out. It'll either be like a submission win for Ciryl Gane, or it's gonna be like a long, drawn out decision, and Cyryl's gonna take the belt.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards that too. It just seems like I feel bad for Francis because he's such a specimen, like a physical specimen, first of all. And like the knockout power, like he's super marketable. Like the dude is scary because you and I have both said Ciryl Gane has more skills. But if you're a heavyweight, who would you rather fight?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I just feel like he's gotten some bad advice. He's gotten some poor management. I mean, the guy has been doing all his training at the UFC training facility, like for free, where they're feeding him and they're letting him work out, and like, you know, he's using their coaches and everything. So you go somewhere else, they're going to give you like a little bit more money, but now you're going to have to start paying for your training camps. And, you know, if you're not good with money and you don't have good people around you, like maybe some people are, you know, sneaking a few bucks away from you here and there, which I think there may be some of that going on. And now you're in a position where you have to start paying coaches and stuff. Like, it's not going to be a good situation. You're not going to have the same level of comfort as you do in the UFC, where they really are taking care of him. Like, could they pay him more? Absolutely. But, you know, it's just got to be done the right way. You got to, you know, wait for your contract to end, finish it on a big knockout or something, and then, you know, go to the table and renegotiate with some smart people who know how to do it. You know, don't just have people taking over your Twitter and talking shit about Dana White and the UFC. Like, this is the worst thing. And the worst part about it is there's Twitter people who will rally behind them and be like, yeah, they have to pay this person more, like not knowing anything about the situation. But those people are tweeting it and then they're putting their phone down and doing whatever else. They don't actually give a shit about how much money you're making. So it's like this false sense of reality. It's like Dave Chappelle says, I don't give a fuck. Twitter's not a real place.
I love that.
There's actually no influence on your finances from Twitter. Like, the UFC is not looking at it. That's not like, they're managing $1 billion corporation. They don't have time to look about, you know, what every single person is saying. Like, do I think Francis deserves more money? Absolutely. But he's not going about it the right way. And I don't think he's making a smart decision walking away from the UFC if that's what he decides to do.
Yeah. No, I think with Ciryl Gane, he's getting really bad advice. And I don't know, I've seen his management group and know of them and everything, but like, I don't understand what they're telling him and why.
You mean Ngannou?
Ngannou. I don't understand who his like like why they're telling him to come out and say anything. But it's just I don't know. It's fucking wild, dude. Like someone else, I think Mark might have said it on the comments. Somebody else's. Okay, Katlyn Chookagian has Ngannou's people. She's managed by the same people as him, apparently. So like they're giving her different advice. But Francis, look, the best thing for Francis, bottom line, would be to come in, knock the hell out of Ciryl Gane on national pay-per-view, international pay-per-view, and then go to the UFC and put the belt down and be like, pay me. I earned it. Pay me. Don't go in there with this whole like, if you guys don't pay me, I might leave after this fight. Like, no. Go in there, prove your worth, knock him the fuck out like you should be able to, and then get paid. I think he's doing this because he knows he's not going to be able to do that. I think Francis is. I hate to use the word scared with fighters, but I think I'll say concerned. I think he's very concerned that Ciryl and his coaches, who used to be Francis' coaches, know everything about him because they do, and they're going to be able to pick him apart. And I think he knows it. I think he's nervous about it, but he's trying to. Try and get paid before the fight. I don't know how that works with those guys, but I think that's what's going on. I think he feels like there's a good chance he's going to lose this fight this next weekend.
Yeah, and that will honestly be the worst thing for him because then he's going to be at the end of his contract where he's been talking all his shit to his employers, and then it's like, I'm not fighting for this amount of money anymore. It's like, well, you just lost, dude. Have fun and bare knuckle.
I wonder if Scott Coker's going to be in the back going like, let's go. Although, Bader and Madovsky are fighting for the they're because there's an interim belt, the heavyweight champion of Bellator, and there's Ryan Bader. They're gonna unify the belts on the 29th. I'm actually going to that to cover it. And can you imagine if Francis Ngannou like, yeah, I'm signing up for Bellator, and Ryan Bader wins that fight? He's like, what? Ryan Bader, who just got knocked out by Corey Anderson in some nasty shit 50 seconds in with his family sitting behind me, so that was sad. But you imagine that fight. If I'm Ryan Bader, I'm like, nah, I'm a light heavyweight again, bro. It's cool. Francis to be a champion of Bellator.
Yeah, if I'm Bader's not like a huge guy. Like I imagine he had a pretty sizable cut to get to 205, but like it's doable. But he's never going to be 265 pounds.
No, he came in at like 230 something. I think he was for heavyweight. He comes in very light, so that'll be rough. And at 205, I mean, again, he makes 205. He looks good at 205, but again, they get snuffed out by Corey Anderson in 50 seconds.
He's a guy that would benefit from a 225 pound.
100%. Think about that though. 265 class, and then there's 205. Why is there such a damn gap between those two? And then 205 to 185. Why is there such a gap between that? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And a lot of the guys heavyweight who, are considered the best lived in that 230 to 240 realm. The Fedors, the Cain Velasquez's, the Stipes. Very few of them are up there at that limit. Ngannou, Derek Lewis, like at the very upper echelon. Like usually that 230 to 240 is the sweet spot for the heavyweights. Let's take a look at the rest of this card. Before I talk about anything else, I have to drift down towards the bottom of the card and talk about my boy, the steamroller Matt Frevola. Training partner of mine, buddy of mine, now trains up at Longo Weidman in Long Island. But, still a good friend, been on the show, friend of the show. Coming off of a rough year last year, they fed him this young lion who came in undefeated, 7-second knockout loss in his last fight. But I know the mentality of this dude. It's not going to phase him when he gets in there. They're giving him another young undefeated guy and Genaro Valdez. But I got to side with my boy, the steamroller, because I know his mentality. I know his work ethic. And I know that he's ready for this fight. So I'm looking forward to the steamroller getting a little redemption for himself after a rough 2021 where he had a bunch of fights fall through and the knockout loss and everything else. But he had some positives too, like yourself. He got himself married and had a good year, a lot of positive things. So I think he's gonna come in with the right attitude to this fight. So just got to give a shout out to my boy Steamroller, who's gonna
one of my favorite nicknames in all of MMA, the Steamroller. From every time we talk about him on on Keyboard Warriors, I'm like the Steamroller for Ebola. Let's go, and I pick him every time just for that. But he's got an underrated kid who's very well rounded. He'll sub you, he'll knock you out. He prefers the feet though, so let's see if Matt can bring this newcomer in and show him what's up.
Yeah, Steamroller is good everywhere. He's got very underrated grappling. He probably would be a black belt by now if he hadn't changed gyms, but he's a brown belt under Matt Serra.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. There are a lot worse places to get your brown belt. Yeah, and as far as the nickname, I don't know if you're aware of this, but like after his fight, he's known to put on a little bit of weight, and he goes by the Cream Roller.
That's awesome. Oh man, you making the weight cut up on yourself, sir.
Yeah. Well, while he's cutting weight, he goes by Lean Roller.
Lean Roller. There you go.
And then it's the Steamroller who shows up for the fights.
That's great.
Yeah, he's such a good dude, and you can't. I mean, you've known a lot of people in this space and a lot of pro fighters and stuff. You can't say that about a lot of them.
No.
It's just, there's like not a lot of really good, genuine people in this MMA space, and it's a small community. Like a lot of us know each other, and it's like you kind of know who the shitheads are, but you don't say anything.
No, I'm not saying he's a shithead, but just really quick side note: when I covered the Aldo Rob font card, Sean Strickland was there cornering. I forgot who he's cornering. He was cornering one of his teammates, and his teammate won. And he comes to the media room for his post-fight interview, and I just want to say what's up to Sean because I wanted to see if he was as crazy as seen on Twitter. He fucking is. He is.
Yeah, I believe it.
He scared the shit out of me just standing there. I'm like, I'm gonna go back to my spot. This dude's nutty.
Yeah, I kind of wondered, like, is he? It seems genuine, but then it's like it seems kind of like a shtick too. But
maybe he was playing it up. But he's got crazy eyes, dude. I was looking and talking to him. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I believe it. I would believe it either way. Like if you told me he was like a high level troll, like yeah, I could buy that. But if you told me he's really that crazy, I could buy that too. And anybody who's interacted with him, I would believe whatever way you put it.
All it does is help him too, because he's just getting all the attention in the world right now. Some for not so good things that he says online, but fair enough.
Yeah, like he's got some radical political beliefs and talking about murdering people and stuff like that. I don't really vibe with that stuff.
Yeah, and none of it makes any sense either when you hear it. You're like, what did he say? Oh, geez.
Yeah. And he's like, we only need gun control for nuns. Like, what's he talking about?
What does that even mean? Yeah. That's what makes you think it's like this might be a troll. And it might be. Who knows? He might have been playing it up in person too. I don't know him personally.
Yeah.
But I did see the video of him knocking somebody the hell out in training. Did you see that one a couple days ago?
I did. That was pretty wild. Like, and I think he showed it because he got banned from Instagram or something. And he was like, hey, this person was a willing participant in this Instagram. Are you going to take this down too?
Yeah.
And that was crazy. And then I heard Chael Sonnen talk about it because Chael used to train with Sean. And he said that Sean is the most responsible training partner, like one of the most responsible training partners he's ever worked with. Like he'll go super hard in the gym, but he would never hurt anybody on purpose.
Okay.
And his take on that was that the guy he was going with leaned into the head kick. But like Sean probably,
I can't remember.
I got to watch it again.
Yeah.
But Chael said he leaned into it and that Sean would never do that on purpose. But I guess since it happened, he was posting it to prove how crazy he is. But you can never take Chael's word on anything either. That's why I love listening to Chael, because you don't know if you're getting some like completely made up story or if you're getting like real war room stuff.
So, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I only watch the Chael podcast when little videos, whatever. Like these are like 5-minute things when they pop up on my YouTube feed. When I'm at work, has he done one after the whole shit that went down with him in Vegas?
So he addressed it, but said he can't talk about it. I imagine he said he can't talk about it yet. I imagine he's got to wait until like a lawyer or something.
Okay, because I want to hear about that. Because the only thing we've heard is of course Brendan fucking Schaub's the one to come out and say some shit. But Brendan was talking about. I talked to Ciryl. He told me the story. And he puts it out there that he was defending his lady's honor. If that's true, good on you, Ciryl. I mean, who of us wouldn't do that for their girl? But they made it like John Jones came out and immediately started talking shit. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna wish bad on you. Like, shut up, motherfucker. You know what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Like, you beat the shit out your girl, dude. That's not what he did. Chill out.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't take Schaub's word for it, but John McCarthy came out and said the same thing.
Did he? Okay.
He said that he talked to Chael personally, and he was like, these people were following me around the hotel. They were being disrespectful to my wife. He didn't hit a woman like that. Whatever report said that there was a woman involved, there wasn't. Like, supposedly it was 5 dudes and he beat the crap out of all of them. But I get he's not, Chael's a really smart dude. Like, he's not going to say anything until he knows like he's cleared legally or whatever. There's no charges pending or anything. But yeah, he was like, I'm going to address the elephant in the room, and I'm also going to ignore it completely.
That's great.
Yeah, he chailed his way out of it.
That guy's a national treasure. He should be like he should be more famous.
I'm such a fan of Chael, and I think he was an underrated fighter too.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for running to one of the GOATs, he probably would have been champion a couple times over.
Yeah, and he should have been champion in the WEC too. Like, he beat the champ, but the champ missed weight. But for some reason, he didn't get the title.
How does that fucking work, though? That makes no sense to me. To this day, I remember that. And I was just like, because now these days, like, if you make weight but your opponent doesn't, you still win the belt. They can't.
Yeah, it should still be on the line. Otherwise, like, why are you still having the fight?
Right.
Like, the champ has nothing to lose because they fucked up. Like,
right.
That's wrong. So, in my book, Chael Sonnen was the middleweight champion in WEC.
Yeah. Dude, like, there's no more heartbreaking, like, to me, heartbreaking video clip than when he lost to, was it Fedor? And he talked about his dad. He had promised his dad on his deathbed that he was going to be a champion one day. And then they asked him about it. His voice cracked, and he's just like, I tried.
Yeah.
That broke my heart, dude. I was just like, oh, dude, damn it. Like,
because behind all the character and everything, like, he's a good guy. Like, everybody I've ever known that's met him was like, this dude's such a good guy.
Dude, I met him when PFL was still what was it called? World Series is fighting. He was one of the commentators for a bit. I met him here in Phoenix. It came in. I went to go cover the card. It was one of the Gaethje Palomino fights, and he was at media day. And I go out to him, he shook my hand, looked me in the eye. He's like a good guy. He's a sweet guy. I showed. He asked me, "What are you doing?" He asked me about me for like 15 minutes. And him just because I got there first, so I got to talk to everybody before the rest of the media guys showed up and they did their little press conference thing. But I talked to him for a while, and I was like, "This is a sweet guy. Like, why does everyone hate him so much? He's so great. Like, he's a good dude." So, yeah, man, it's just you wish the best for him because he's a good guy, but he's also super entertaining, and he's doing well because he's a smart guy.
Yeah, yeah, and then like he orchestrated like people hating him, which I always thought was brilliant. Like I saw through it like from the very first time. Like, obviously this guy's not that much of an asshole. Like, he's trying to get attention because he had kind of a boring fight style. He wasn't getting a lot of attention. Like, he needed attention to get, where he needed to get to.
Right. No, you're 100% right.
But speaking of attention, one of your fellow countrymen got a lot of it last year. Mr. Brandon Moreno, becoming the first Mexican-born UFC champion in history. Of course, we've had Cain Velasquez, who is of Mexican descent but not Mexican-born. So, give me your thoughts on this co-main event. Do you think Figueiredo deserves this trilogy fight?
Would I say he deserves it? Going off the second performance where he didn't throw a single damn strike, it seemed, and then got taken down, or he got taken down or knocked out, I forgot what it was, and then got his neck taken when he's supposed to be the jiu-jitsu specialist. No, I don't. But going off the draw of the first one, where people were like, it could have been back and forth. I thought Moreno won that first fight too, but fair enough. But I think just for I guess finality's sake, you do the trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, like who else do you throw in there that deserves to be in a title fight right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like TJ tried it, right? TJ cut the 125, didn't work out well at all. Cody cut the 125, thinking he wins one fight against title shot, didn't work out well at all. Like overall, just it's rough going for that dude. But for Brandon to win, dude, I said it right away on Twitter. I was like, I am legit tearing up right now. That was one of the proudest moments of my for me as someone from where I'm from. Like busted his ass, and I know a lot of his post-fight speech was in Spanish, but he was talking about like, I'm just a kid from Mexico, like we're not supposed to be able to do this type of shit. And he said everything, in Mexico, and you'll hear it at the World Cup and anywhere else. There's a lot of those chants of "Si se puede" or "Yes we can," "Yes we can." Most of the time we see that chant, dude, it doesn't happen. Every World Cup, dude, we're chanting. We're in the stadium chanting for the Mexican team. Yes we can, yes we can. And it doesn't fucking happen. So for us to be able to say that with him, and it actually happens, I teared up for the guy. I was so proud of him and everything. So that was great. But as far as this trilogy fight goes, this will cement whether Brandon Moreno is like the man at 125, or whether maybe Davison was weird in the second fight or something. But I see Brandon winning this fight. It won't be. I don't think it'll be a finish. I think we're in for a 5-round war, because I think Davison knows that he just held back too much in the last fight, and he's gonna be like, screw it, let's just see what's up, throw the cards on the table and go. So I think we're in for like a 5-round war, and I still have Brandon winning it though by decision.
Was it the last fight or the first fight that Figueiredo had like food poisoning the day before the fight?
Ooh. I don't know.
I think it was like the first fight. So like going into the second fight, he thought he was gonna run through Moreno because like he had the rough. We know he has trouble making the weight, and he had food poisoning like while there was something like this, and I can't remember which fight it was, but I mean, it might be in Moreno's best interest, like long term, to lose this fight, because there's no other big fight for him out there. There's no other big money fight in this division. But if they have to do, the draw, and then they each won, and then they have to do the fourth fight to find out like who's the most legit guy, that's probably the biggest fight for him, because I think he's too small to move up to 35.
Yeah, I don't want to see him at 35.
Yeah, you don't want to see him in there with Jan.
No.
Like Jan is so much bigger than him.
Well,
and then there's, like you said, with Benavidez retiring, there's nobody. I can't think off the top of my head of any other 25 pounders.
Well, they tried to kill the division. Dana tried to kill the division. He cut everybody, and then he comes out. Henry Cejudo revives it somehow, and he has to sign a bunch of guys back. But the one guy he didn't sign back, it still bothers me, is John Moraga. I'm a big John Moraga fan and local Phoenix boy, and I'm kind of bummed he didn't get him back. But but so now you got to rebuild 125 in a way, and you try to do it by bringing in TJ and Cody, and it didn't work out. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, we do. There is Kai Kara France who.
Yeah, I like Kai Kara.
Yeah,
of
course. Kai. Mark's always bringing up the fellow countrymen as well.
Of course. He's having breakfast or not. He's working. Working right now. It's afternoon for us, bro.
Let's see. Aside from my boy Steamroller, I'm going to give you my pick. So what I always do every week is the sleeper fight, the fight that nobody's really talking about that I think is going to be exciting. So I'll go over the rest of the card. I'll give you mine, and then you can tell me what you think yours is. So we got Michel Pereira against Andre Fiallo. Sergey Spivak was supposed to fight Greg Hardy, but Greg Hardy broke his finger sticking in his ass or something. So Spivak for now is still on the card, but with no opponent currently. Cody Stamann against Said Nurmagomedov. Adolfo Vieira versus Wellington Turman. Tony Gravely versus Simon Oliveira. Ilia Topuria against Charles Jourdain. Jack Della Maddalena against Pete Rodriguez. Honey Barsolas against Victor Henry. Michelle Morales against Trevin Giles. Silvana Gomez Juarez against Vanessa Demopoulos. Of course, Steamroller and Gennaro Valdez. And then Kay Hansen against Jasmine Jusudavicius.
So go ahead.
I'll give you mine. It's Cody Stamann against Said Nurmagomedov. I'm super curious about this one. I think it's going to be like a good, like Cody Stamann can grapple. Obviously, Nurmagomedov can grapple. I like the grappling exchanges in MMA. I know a lot of people don't care for them, but I feel like that's going to be an exciting one.
And that's exactly what I was going to pick. I was going to pick that one or the Kay Hansen fight. But Cody Stamann's got the grappling to roll with it with, any of the, Mergadovs or whatever. I mean, like those kind of last names. I'm immediately thinking they probably wrestled the Bear at some point. But
probably.
Cody Stamann's got the grappling to stay with him, but he's also got hands. Like Cody's got hands. And he's got power. So that's what's going to be an interesting fight right there. And if he's able to beat Said, I mean, it's one of those things where he's going to be on a trajectory. I don't want to say to a title shot right away, right? But he'll do well. I think he'll do really well in that fight. But, those Nurmagomedovs, man, it's scary-ass motherfuckers, for real.
I just want to announce that I polished off this bottle while we've been talking, Eddie. And I just have a follow-up question for you. What made you pick the Kay Hansen fight? Are you subscribed to her OnlyFans?
Does she have one?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm gonna go look. No, I didn't know she had one. No, I think Kay Hansen, because full disclosure, I'm part of KShotPress.com, and one of my guys actually interviewed her, and I just thought her story was pretty interesting. So I think that's it's one of those things that she has a chance against. I want to say Jasmine's a newcomer, right?
Yeah, I would say so. That's probably why I butchered her name. I'm usually pretty. I try to get the names down, like out of respect for the fighters, but that one caught me off guard.
You are right.
Jasudavicius.
Yeah, Kay Hansen does have OnlyFans. Okay, fair enough. Okay, look, going off the because she beat Jin Frey in was it in Invicta or UFC at that point? I want to say that's probably UFC, but she beat Jin Frey, which I didn't think was going to happen. She armbarred her. I want to say the third round, and then and she lost the decision to Corey McKenna, but I didn't think I thought that would have been a lot closer fight than it would have been.
Jin Frey was in the UFC. That was
okay. There you go. And so I think she just got a chance to be something at strawweight, but now looking at her OnlyFans, hey, yeah, I might be a bigger fan now. That's kidding. No, I honestly think that she brings the fight. But who else is on that card? That's not Kay Hansen. It's the other, the Demopoulos. Where's she fighting at? She's fighting the Juarez, right?
Oh yeah, Vanessa Demopoulos. Right, she's fighting Silvana Gomez Juarez.
Yeah, Vanessa's got an uphill fight in this one. So, she just lost to JJ
Aldrich.
Aldrich, thank you. Aldrich, she's very up and down recently. So it'd be it'd be best for her to beat Juarez, who's 0-1 in the UFC.
For sure. I'm looking at this Adolfo Vieira Wellington Turman fight too. I'm like the Vieira experiment is interesting to me. Obviously, world class jiu-jitsu, hasn't figured out the weight cutting. I think is an issue for him because he hasn't figured out how to cut the weight and expend the energy in MMA, but still has that. Even though he got submitted in his last fight, but that was just because he was exhausted. I'm still interested to see where this train leads to.
Well, how long has he been in the UFC? If he's been there for a minute.
I have to post this comment.
What? Sorry,
Kay, all my OnlyFans cash goes to Jessica I's feet.
What's funny is that when Jessica I got her OnlyFans started, I forget, we had a group of I'm not gonna put anyone's name out there because I wasn't the one that did it, but one of my fellow media members bit the bullet and bought it. And he may have screenshotted some of the stuff and sent it to us, and we, fair enough, we didn't put it out there, so we're not, we didn't do anything too crazy. And It was in a group chat that got deleted anyway because someone got caught. But you know, she tries really hard. I'll say that much. She tries really hard.
I'm assuming you're gonna share this with me offline.
I don't have it anymore.
Ah.
I got rid of it. No, it's I'm married now, so I can't have that kind of shit.
Oh, come on.
You know how it is, dude. I know, right? No, she won't.
I gotta say, my wife is pretty liberal with that stuff too. She might watch adult films more than I do.
I'll tell you, I got in trouble. We were already engaged. I got in trouble for posting a picture of Mackenzie Dern's ass on Twitter and Instagram. Mind you, my wife follows me on Instagram, but she doesn't follow me on Twitter. Right? So I posted it and immediately starts acting out like weird. And I'm like, what is your problem? Nothing. Don't worry about it. Well, then my oldest daughter hits me up. She goes, hey, did you post a picture of some chick's ass on Instagram and Twitter? And I'm like, yeah, it's just a fighter, like whatever. But it's Mackenzie Dern's ass back when it was Mackenzie Dern's ass. So, I posted that shit. She saw it. And then I'm like, she's like, well, yeah, mom's upset. I'm like, oh, fuck. All right. Like, I realized what I had done. So, yeah, no, my wife's not at all liberal about that. I got in trouble for an Instagram picture.
Damn.
Yeah. So
an Instagram picture that was on Twitter where she doesn't even follow you.
Oh no, but I had to delete it on everything. I'm like, fuck this. I'm not. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Not at all.
I forget that my wife follows me on Twitter sometimes because I've got the podcast account. Like she's in there and she sees everything I say. Like she'll be more upset. Like I could post about women or anything else. She would be more upset if I said something like, some kind of off-color comment that she didn't approve of. But no, my wife is a fan of the female figure. Like she will be out in public and she'll point out other women to me that I don't even notice. And she'll be like, "Oh, chick, look at that girl's ass over there." Like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, we don't get that at all. I have to just pretend like I didn't see it.
Yeah, no, my wife would make a good wing woman.
There you go. Shit.
Like if I wasn't already with her, I would be asking her to set me up.
I hear that. But hey, I need your help.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if you ever find yourself single and in Florida, I got you.
Oh, man.
But yeah, this is a good card coming up, man. I'm looking forward to this pay-per-view. It'll be fun, like especially for me coming off a weekend of like toddler birthdays and like Disney everything and like blowing all this money. I wouldn't mind like spending a few bucks on myself here.
75 plus bucks.
Yeah, that does suck, doesn't it? That price increase. It's like, what are they thinking? Their numbers are already so bad. My theory is I'll give you a little backstory. So the town where I grew up in New York, there was a movie theater that we all used to go as high school kids and stuff. And a topless bar opened across the street from the movie theater. Mm. So the movie theater, it used to be like $9 for a movie. All of a sudden it's like $12.50 for a movie. And then the movie theater put out a press release like, our ticket sales have gone way down since this strip club came out across the street. And they actually got the strip club shut down because it was, it was bad for business. It was, a political move that they did. They jacked up the prices and they blamed it on the titty bar across the street. Mm. When in reality, the ticket prices have gone down because they raised the price. So I'm wondering, just thinking ahead with like my business brain that I'm cursed with, if the UFC is jacking up the prices, one, to get people talking about it on social media, all the people who are just streaming the fights anyway, bitching about the price going up, and, no press is bad press. And I wonder if they're making a move, like if they're going to get away from the pay-per-view platform and just go to the subscription, jack up the price of ESPN Plus if you want UFC, and then that's it. You pay $25 a month now and you get every UFC event, something like that. So that's my prediction for that. And I give my movie theater titty bar story as a reference, but I think the price increase is going to mean a change in the business plan for the UFC within the next year and a half or so.
So Dana White went ahead and threw ESPN under the bus in Disney, saying it was them that decided that pay-per-view was going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
But Dana White, nothing happens in the UFC without Dana White saying okay. So he did it. So I hadn't thought about exactly why they would do it, but your theory makes a lot of sense. I mean, what did WWE? WWE used to cost like $60-some per pay-per-views and everything. Now it's 10, 20, whatever they're charging now these days, and you get everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's consistent money. Now here, everyone's streaming everything. I'm not saying I do or don't. I know people that do, and every single one. But I think, if something like that happens, let's say $20 is a very conservative, price. It would probably be more like 30. But let's say it's like $20 a month. I don't know anyone that wouldn't pay it to not have to deal with the streaming thing, streaming going out, streaming being choppy, slow, shitty, whatever. I think it'd be easy to pay.
Especially because you're going to have to pay that price to get the fight nights.
Yep.
And good luck finding a stream for a fight night. So would they rather consistently get $20 a month from everybody or periodically get that $75 from a small group of people? I think personally they're going to phase out the pay-per-view model. I think it's a dated model, and I think this is, they're just collecting the data now. Like they jacked up the price. Like, look, we're not even doing 200,000 pay-per-view buys, and we got our biggest stars on here. Mm-hmm. Let's move away from this model. And I think they just need that data right now. And this is the data collection experiment that we're witnessing. So you guys heard it here first. This is how the UFC is going to go. In about a year from now, they're going to have their own subscription platform, or it's going to be like a sub platform on ESPN Plus. It's going to cost a little bit more. And then you get all the fight nights, you get all the big cards. And I, for one, would be happy with that. I would pay $25 a month. Like, I'll cancel everything else. Netflix, Hulu, whatever the fuck else I pay for, except Disney Plus. I need that shit. I can't survive. I can't survive without watching Encanto every day.
Dude, we still gotta watch that one. No, but no, we.
Oh, you're not down with Encanto yet?
Yeah, my 1-year-old's 100% on Coco Melon right now, and we watched Coco the other day. I'm trying to get him to learn Spanish, and my mom works with him on the Spanish thing all the time. He actually, for a weird part, he knows a few words though. But we need to get an Encanto for sure. No, but it's funny because I've always threatened about canceling Netflix and Hulu and all that shit because I'm the only one that doesn't use that shit. Everyone in my family, my wife uses it. All my kids use it. Even the ones that don't even live in my house anymore using my shit. Like the other day, I had the simple Netflix with there was like 2 screens or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of my college students hits me and I was like, "Hey, is everyone on Netflix right now? Because I can't get in." And I'm like, "Why? You're over 18. Get your own goddamn Netflix account. We want to mooch on my shit." Me and my friends are trying to watch so and so, and I'm like, "Did you not hear what I just said? Get your own shit. You got money? What the fuck?" And no, of course not. I had to fucking, I got the order from the wife, and I had to get the more expensive one to get the 4 screens. I'm like, this is so stupid. So yeah, I would 100% cancel all that shit and piss them all off to get to pay $25 a month. No problem.
Yeah, I would be done with Netflix. I gotta finish this season of Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I never even started it.
You didn't start Cobra Kai?
I didn't even start it because like I just don't have time to. I'm terrible about going with series, right? Like it needs to be for me to stick with a series. It's got to be like Narcos, where it's like 5 or 6 episodes and that's it, right? And you get the whole story and it's great. And then another season. With like Cobra Kai, everybody was so into it. For some reason, when everyone's going towards one thing, it turns me off. So I go the other way, and now I feel like I need to catch up. I started and catch up because everyone's like it's still going, so it must be pretty good.
I'm the same way as you. Like when. Like Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, like I never got into any of it. Let me tell you, you would enjoy Cobra Kai.
Okay.
Because if you were a fan of Karate Kid, like the nostalgia alone is worth it. And then it's really well done. And the comedy that they work into it of like these old guys in the martial arts community is so relatable.
relate? Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I know you and I are very similar in a lot of ways. Like, you would enjoy it the way I did. My problem with getting into series is like if the wife and I are both into it,
Yeah.
I have to be on her schedule, and
Exactly.
she's knocked out at like 9 during the week.
Yeah.
So if the kiddo gets to bed at 7:30, 8, 8:15, then we have like a smaller and smaller window to like watch a show. She'll fall asleep. The next night we got to rewatch the end of the last episode, and then she's falling asleep through the first quarter. The next, it's a whole.
Dude, Netflix has a new movie called Don't Look Up. I don't know if you've seen it. We started this because we couldn't think of anything else to watch.
And
it took us 4 nights to get through it.
I fell asleep during that one. I never fall asleep during movies, but that one knocked me out.
Yeah, it honestly wasn't terrible because it scares the shit out of you because a lot of this stuff, like a lot of the concepts they use in that movie are like out here. Like if you replace if you replace the comet with COVID, that's exactly what's happening right now. So
yeah, I think it was meant to be a metaphor.
Sure.
And like how the media manipulates everything, and much like you and I do. Like we're manipulating the MMA community here.
We're going with it, dude. Why not? Shit.
And the whiskey community, the beer community, all the underdog communities.
All the ones that the mainstream media hasn't taken, we got those. We're good.
Exactly. All right. So I don't know. You got anything else you want to get off your chest? We're like normally I keep this show to an hour, but we were having a good time, so we went 40 minutes over.
I got nothing. This is if you don't have a football team, cross your fingers for the Cardinals tomorrow. Okay, like I'm chill right now, but I got to work tomorrow early as shit, and I got to go all the way till game time, and then I'm gonna be losing my mind. Like, and it's weird because I'm a terrible loser when I lose, but when my teams lose, it's almost like a weight off my shoulders. I'm like, oh, thank God, like it's over. I don't have to worry about this shit till next season. But if we win, I'll be super happy, and then I'll be chill to the next fucking game. But every single game, I lose my mind. And it's just like, that's why I like watching fighting. Because even when it's my favorite fighters, like a Kane, like a Nate and a Nick and like a Tracy Cortez or Alexa Grasso, stuff like that, like even those people that I follow closely, even when they lose, I'm like, it happens. But in football and in basketball, when you've had, people that of people that went their entire lives, those teams never won a title and they died. Like if I die without a Cardinal Super Bowl, I'm gonna be so pissed. Like I will come back and haunt whoever owns the team at that point. That's bullshit. Really.
Yeah, I'm not a team sports guy. Like when I watched football, I was a Giants fan, and we had those 2 Super Bowl wins over the Patriots that were just epic.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Kind of like after that, I was kind of like, why am I even watching? Like I'm not gonna top that feeling like of those wins because they were such underdog wins both times, like ruining the perfect season. And then Brady comes back to get redemption, and now Brady lives right in my backyard.
Yeah. You're down, too.
It's awesome too because like when I moved down here, there was no Buccaneers fans, like none. I went to one game like just to do it, like when we first moved down here 6 years ago, and it was the Raiders and the Bucks, and there was more Raiders fans than Buccaneers fans. The stadium was not even half full. Now everything is Buccaneers all over Tampa and the surrounding area. People love the Buccaneers. They love Tom Brady. Everybody's got a jersey. And I'm like, you're all liars. I know none of you were fans 6 years ago. What are you all doing now? Like, I guess I'm in the boat too. Like, aside from, I'll root for the Cardinals for your sake, but like, I guess like they're the hometown team that's still in it. So I guess I'm pulling for the Buccaneers. Like I haven't even watched a Super Bowl in like 4 years or so.
Oh, dude, it's like I don't know. I try to make a holiday out of it. I usually call it the next day, but I'll tell you right now, if the Cardinals somehow make the Super Bowl this year, I'm calling out the whole week. I'm gonna be hammered for days. Like I'm like, I don't have to die without a Super Bowl. It's amazing. But
you're gonna go through a bottle of bourbon quicker than I do.
Okay, real quick, put that up on the screen again because I googled it to see if anyone. Okay, all right. Because I googled it and that one for some reason isn't like it's available, but it's like out of stock everywhere where I'm around. So,
I mentioned it on this show. and instantaneously it's sold out everywhere.
It was another episode I was watching. I was watching you and Jeff, and you said something like I'm drinking something, but I'm not gonna put it on screen because I don't want it to run out. So
that legit happens. Like, you know, Buffalo Trace sponsors Joe Rogan. All of a sudden, you can't find that shit anywhere.
Have you had what's that shit that Dana White pushes?
The Howler Head.
Have you had that yet?
I have not, because I just assume it's trash.
It sounds like trash, right?
Like a banana whiskey. And like, I've seen other alcohol related things that Dana White has done on social media. I just don't trust his taste.
Me neither.
But I'll show you something I have. Hold on one second. And I haven't opened this yet. I don't know if you're aware that this exists. This is Bruce Buffer's whiskey.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It's called Puncher's Chance. And I came across it in New York, and I put it in my suitcase and brought it back here with me. And I was debating whether I was going to debut it on this show, like live taste it, or I'm also planning like another like whiskey-based YouTube channel that's kind of up in the air right now. But yeah, Bruce Buffer has a whiskey. It's called Puncher's Chance. And I'm up in the air because look, it's got this cheesy tiger on it. Yeah. Puncher's Chance. I don't really know who makes it. It's got like this cheesy statement on the back, which I'm never a fan of. But I also feel like Bruce is a smart businessman, and he's not going to put his name on anything that's not a quality product. But I've been holding off on trying it.
So I Googled it real quick to see if anyone had it around here, and they're getting like a 3.5.
The Puncher's Chance?
Yeah, it's 3.5 stars out of 5, I guess. And it says, summary, a stated above is incredibly accessible bourbon. I would recommend Puncher's Chance to kick the door in for someone brand new to bourbon. The subtle blend gives off just enough of the wood, and the sweetness on the nose really mellows out the glass to a nice smooth finish. I might try it. Shit.
The last line of this cheesy statement, for those who have the courage and strength to do what others won't.
Oh,
like,
fuck.
Calm down. You're drinking whiskey. Like, I do that.
Like me and conquer the goddamn world.
Yeah, like pretty much everybody who listens to this show is drinking whiskey, like while they're listening to it, or beer or something else. It's like you're not doing anything that others won't. You're like you're just getting drunk. Like,
settle down. You're not solving the world hunger here, right? While drinking whiskey, chill. No, yeah. It's funny. Anytime anyone was spot, like anything big name coming on spot, like The Rock came out with Terramana, whatever they call that with that tequila. I haven't tried it. Anytime anyone famous pushes some shit, I'm like, oh, okay, you're getting paid to use your name. All right. Just like what's his name? Jorge Masvidal came out with tequila, didn't bother, don't care. And then McGregor,
well, Masvidal's is actually a mezcal, which is like the less refined version of tequila. I haven't tried it either. I imagine it's pretty rough, but I do have to vouch for the Terramana. That's good shit.
I might try that then.
If you like tequila, they have. So right now they have the Blanco and they have the Reposado. They're both excellent, especially for the price point. Like sometimes these celebrities come out and it's like crazy expensive. You get Terramana for like $27-$30. Very good tequila.
Do you sip tequila or do you have to mix it?
I sip it.
Okay, I sip it too. Yeah. Everyone thinks I'm weird for doing that. I'm like, no, I like glass, ice cube, and sip that shit.
That's the way it's meant to be consumed. I mean, you know.
In fact, I'll put it in the freezer and let it get re-chilled and then drink it that way. That's even better.
Every time I talk to people and they're like, I can't do tequila, and I ask them about their experience with it, it was in college, like doing shots of Jose Cuervo. It's like, well, Jose Cuervo is garbage. Patron is garbage. And you're doing shots of it. Like, that's not what it's meant for. Throw out all that garbage stuff. Get yourself some Casamigos, some Don Julio, like some good quality tequila and sip on that stuff.
No, my wife, bless her, on our wedding day, she had my dad's like a tequila connoisseur, so whenever I need a tequila recommendation, I hit that dude up, and he's like, he never misses. But she got me a bottle, I forgot what it was, and she asked my dad to get it, and and she she had it sent to the groom's room. And as soon as you put a bottle there and like a bunch of shot glasses, all I had to do was tell my brother, like, hey dude, you're in charge of the tequila, let's fucking go. Dude, we finished that bottle before the wedding started. We were all nice and toasty walking up the aisle and shit. I had no nerves whatsoever. It was dope.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you do need a shot of tequila.
Oh yeah. But you're right. Tequila's not meant to do shots. Like we just did it because it was fucking 6 of us in the room. But I do sip it. I prefer to sip it. It's way better.
I'm trying to find. There's a tequila brand that I'm super high on right now, and I have a bottle of it downstairs. But I'll text it to you later. But for the listeners, I'm not going to be able to share it because I can't remember because I drank a quarter of a bottle of bourbon and however many beers I was trying to clear out of my melting cooler.
Take a break.
But Maestro Dobel, my favorite tequila right now.
Okay.
Yeah, keep an eye on them because they're gonna blow up soon. Their añejo is delicious, like very nice to sip on. Like whenever I'm going on like a health kick, I'll switch from whiskey to tequila because it does have some like health benefits, supposed to help you sleep. It's got some like pain relief, medicinal purposes to it. So I feel like I'm healthier when I drink tequila, but there are some very delicious tequilas out there. And a lot of the añejo tequilas, which, for you gringos out there, means aged, older tequila. The clear tequila is like, just the agave distilled down and turned into a spirit. But then the añejos are aged in like oak or something similar. And, they get a little bit more mature, a little bit oakier flavors into it. Very close to whiskey. But the Maestro Dobel is my favorite right now.
Check that out then. Shit.
I highly recommend it for you. If you like sipping on tequila, just their Blanco is amazing. It's very, very delicious, very high quality, not crazy expensive right now. But again, now that I've said it out loud on this show,
it's going to.
This is how I get people to send me stuff because I mention it on this show, and then all of a sudden, it's the Joe Rogan effect.
I need to start talking about different strains of weed that I like and shit.
You should.
I might.
Why not? Why not? Get yourself some
free shit.
An indica sponsor or something.
That'd be so dope.
Indica's the downer one, right?
Yeah. The indica's the downer, sativa is the upper. And I have like a couple things of sativa, but I don't use anything when I'm like during the day. This is literally for sleep. So it's like if the wife ever takes the kids out of town or something, I'll hit that up. But otherwise, it's like once everyone's asleep and the 1-year-old goes to bed, that's my cue to go to sleep too.
That magical time.
Stars
align.
I unwrap my box and hit up some Madden or whatever I got on the PS5 and drift to sleep.
For sure. Well, Eddie, I know it's Elaw32 on Twitter, of course. Instagram Oh,
you hear him?
You just spoke it into existence.
Yeah, the 1-year-old just lost his shit.
He's so mad. He's like, Dad, give me a plug on MMA on the Rocks. You finally made it to the top of the mountain. Like, shout me out.
He's starting to test his like physical ability, so he's like, he might have been trying to run and ate it. That's what it sounds like. Anyway, yeah.
We all feel like that sometimes, even later in life. Where else can the folks find you on social media and otherwise?
Elaw32 on Twitter, Elaw52 on Instagram, and at Keyboard MMA. KeyboardWarriorsMMA.com for everything, basically. Just go there, hit it up. We're on every Wednesday night. We'll be on this Wednesday night, and myself and Mr. Fred Kirby hanging out.
I gotta say, you and Fred are a great team. I look forward to having my partner Jeff the Animal Wilson back whenever he.
Jeff, come on back, Jeff.
We'll get Jeff. We'll either get Jeff back or we'll get some variation of Jeff. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we won't put him on camera. I don't know. We'll figure something out. It's a problem for another day. I gotta have some more drinks to figure that one out. But guys, if you enjoyed this show, which of course you did because you're listening till the end, go follow my man Eddie Law everywhere. check out the Keyboard Warriors. They put on a fantastic show. It's much more fun live than this show. I know a lot of you guys listen to this show after the fact, and it's more audio than video because, like my mom always told me, I have a face for radio. But the Keyboard Warriors do it right live. So go check them out on Wednesday nights. I get home from the gym. Usually the timing works out perfectly. I heat up my dinner and Keyboard Warriors are going live. And, you know, when all the stars align, the kid's asleep, like you were talking about, I can enjoy the Keyboard Warriors, and they're a good pair. They have a lot of knowledge about MMA. They're funny, everything you want out of an MMA podcast. And if MMA on the Rocks is everything you want out of an MMA podcast, you can grab some merchandise from our friends at Team Reaper. You can use the promo code MMA Rocks 10. That's MMA ROCKS10. Get yourself 10% off on your whole order from our friends at Team Reaper. The website is reaper1.co. I'll put all the links in the show notes, as always, wherever you are watching or listening. I appreciate you. And that promo code works for anything on the website, not just our merchandise. Of course, we appreciate you purchasing our merchandise, but go get yourself whatever you want, a new gi or a gym bag or some sparring gloves, whatever you need. They got it over there at Team Reaper. They sponsor a lot of phenomenal fighters. You can support some local fighters, local circuit fighters. Everybody always talks about fighters should make more money. Well, go put some money in their pockets, buy their t-shirt. Team Reaper treats the fighters right. They give the fighters a good portion of the a good commission off of every t-shirt that they sell. So go check out all the fighters that they sponsor. They got everything from UFC fighters, Bellator, bare knuckle, local circuit, everything. So go check them out. And yeah, that's it. Great fights this weekend, considering we've been on a 3-week break. I thank you, sir, Eddie, for joining me, especially on short notice. I know you had a busy day. I know you got, your Cardinals game coming up that you're worried about, and you got crying babies and everything. So,
no, dude, I'm just waiting for the tornadoes to hit. Shit.
Yeah, I was at 6 a.m. this morning, I got that weather alert too, and we're on 2 different coasts. What's going on? Is there a tornado?
I didn't get that. I just heard it. No, but no, there was an underwater volcano that in Tonga. You hear about that?
Yeah.
Should. So I have family all up and down California coast, and they're all hitting me up like, "There's gonna be a tsunami. We don't know what to do." And I'm like, I told them, I was like, if you have a 5-foot wave, you're lucky, because that shit's not gonna hit you. Relax. And yeah, nothing happened. But yeah, we didn't get no tornado. What we get here is I don't know, dust storms, and it gets really hot in the summer. That's about it.
Normally hurricanes is the thing here, but it's not hurricane season right now. But we got at 6 a.m. our phones were going off with this tornado warning. It's like, what the fuck? We're on the Gulf Coast. We're like, what kind of tornado is forming over here?
If you needed proof that climate change is real, there you go.
I guess so. I guess so. Now there's tornadoes in Florida, and there's volcanoes in Arizona. So
it's crazy, dude.
In California. In any case, thanks again, Eddie, for jumping on. I appreciate all your insight and for being available. And I'm working out the time zones with me and my horrible math. Which, by the way, I still don't know what's up with the time zones in Arizona. Like, you guys, you're like, some of you are on Mountain Time, some of you are on Pacific Time. Like, come on. Can you guys get it together out there?
We just don't like to change for anybody, apparently. Everyone else does it but us. So I don't even know.
Yeah, and you guys don't do daylight savings, right?
No, at all. It's weird. I don't know why, but just don't.
Okay. All right. Well, you may not be able to figure out what time it is where Eddie lives, but you can figure out where to follow him and all his shows. So go do that. And that's all we got. So until next time, whenever that is, cheers, everybody. Goodbye.